geoscientists who've excelled in industry, excelled in academia, excelled in environmental protection, excelled as an experienced geoscientist, excelled as someone fairly new within their careers. And we start today with the specialist groups. I'd like to begin with the Hong Kong regional groups Workman Malpass Medal awarded for outstanding service to Hong Kong geoscience. This was just the second year since the inauguration of this medal, and the award was presented to Prof. Kim Wiss with a tribute to him by the previous year's recipient, Prof. Andrew Malone. I don't think anyone from Hong Kong is in. Oh, you are? I do apologize. Sorry, Ella. Oh, you were there? Oh, thank you very much indeed. I misheard you. I'll get in big trouble when I get home because my wife will say, I've seen your hearing aids by the bedside table all the time you've been away. So please interrupt me if I mishear. Some of it can be quite amusing and some quite devastating. Okay, let's move on to the specialist group and regional awards. Giovanni Toffol, now at Cardiff University, was the recipient of the 2025 Ramsay Medal awarded by the Tectonic Studies Group. The Tectonic Studies Group other student prize recipients are also listed here. So thanks to, congratulations to Dave Johnson, Phoebe Stansfield. Phoebe received the Dave Johnson Mapping Prize. The Mike Coward Prize went to Manon Carpenter from the University of Leeds, and the Sue Traeger's Prize to Natalia Forrest, also of the University of Leeds. Well done. Well done to all those three groups. If we now move on to the specialist group and regional group awards, Dr. Susan Ebenheimer was the Bullerwell Lecturer of 2025, awarded by the British Geophysical Association. Susanna is at the forefront of satellite monitoring of volcanoes. Susanna, are you in the audience? But let's give her a clap as well. I don't know quite who might be in the audience for some of those, so please shout out if you are, and then we can thank you properly. As far as the specialist group and regional group awards go, Dr. Mizuki Ishida of the Natural History Museum was the Mineral Deposits Group Early Career Researcher Distinguished Lecturer Award of 2025. Dr. Ishida, are you here? No, but let's give them a... And on to the Specialist and Regional Group Awards. The Metamorphic Group Studies Group awarded the 2025 Barrow Award to Professor James Connolly at the Institute of Geochemistry and Petrology at ETH Zurich, best known for developing and maintaining the PeopleX suite of thermodynamic modeling programs. His commitment to keeping this an open source tool represents a pinnacle of community service. So, Professor Connolly, we thank you. And to the Energy Group. The Energy Geosciences Medal for 2025 was presented to Henk Kombrink, Editor-in-Chief of GeoExpro and Director, co-founder of North Sea Core. And the Early Career Distinguished Medal was conferred upon Matt Sharp of Hotspur Helium. Neither are in the audience today. And we seem to have lost a picture of Matt, but let's give them both a round of applause. And on to the engineering group. David, you must be here. Yes, you're here. The engineering group's 2025 Glossop medalist was Dr. David Giles, CGG. He will be giving his lecture at the Glossop meeting later this year on the 20th of November 2025. So let's give a round of applause to David and all those who've come before. Don't forget, we do have other medals which don't always get awarded from year to year. So keep an eye open and think of who you would like to nominate this next time around. The next piece is particularly exciting because we move on to the Early Career Awards. And these were instituted by Professor Percy Allen back in 1980 as President's Award. They're conferred upon early career geoscientists who show significant promise and are judged as potential leaders in their fields. The awards are within the gift of the President. I will get the white cat shortly. So I'm absolutely delighted to present the first President's Award to Dr. Khushbu Gurung from the University of Leeds. Would you care to come forward? I'm good. Don't move away. I made the error of not reading out the citation, which I will do. So you'll be slightly embarrassed. During her PhD, Khushbu developed a novel vegetation computer model that stimulates plant behavior and distribution of geological past. Following on from this, through her current research fellowship at the University of Leeds, Khushbu has now linked the vegetation model to the Earth system model that explores how plants altered Earth's climate and how tectonics and paleogeography influence plants' geographic range. As well as leading scientific advances, Khushbu is active in the community, building through her supervision of PhD and master's students, organising conferences, sessions and outreach events as a committee member for the Geological Society of London's Earth System Science Professional and Scientific Interest Groups. Khushbu Gurung, early in your career, you showed great aptitude to adapt and change to follow the science. This, coupled with an excellent capacity for collaboration and support the geoscience community, demonstrates your potential for becoming a leader in your field and makes you a worthy recipient of this award. Please, we've already done it, but please receive this annual award and congratulations. It's my first year. Come 999 years from now. Oh no, we do have elections every 2 years. But I was going to say I might get it right by then. My apologies. The second award goes to Dr. Divya Prasad from the University of Glasgow. And I'll get this in the right order this time. So with a unique interdisciplinary skill set garnered through education in the UK and at NASA's Jet Propulsion Lab in the United States, Dr. Divya Prasad is not only making waves in the field of planetary geology, but also shining a light on space ethics. Her research focuses on developing novel methods of applying remote sensing datasets to mission planning for the surface exploration of celestial bodies, crucial for the understanding of extraterrestrial landscapes, processes, and possibly life. Already her work has been recognized internationally in a wealth of invited talks and media appearances, including on the BBC. She is actively dedicated to fostering a positive culture within geoscience, particularly for marginalized researchers, and thus generously gives her time to furthering equality, diversity, inclusion, and accessibility initiatives. This includes co-leading the interdisciplinary virtual conference, Space Science in Content, with elements in the inclusivity model, ensuring a success subsequently adopted by high-profile organizations such as NASA. Divya also brings a personal element to her research through exploring the connection between science and creativity as a musician, including reference the parallels between Earth, space, and human experience. Divya Prasad, with an exceptional early career research, your contribution to outreach is outstanding. An excellent advocate for diversity, as well as bringing space ethics to the fore. You're truly deserving of a recipient of the President's Award. Divya is unable to be here today, but please join me in applauding Divya, who I'm sure will be catching up on today's recording at a later point. And for those of you keen to hear more of Divya's outstanding work, there is a geoscientist recent podcast, Geoconversations with Divya Prasad. So, okay. We move on to the William Smith Fund. These are awarded to early career geoscientists who have made excellent contributions to geoscience research and its application in the UK and internationally. The William Smith Fund is awarded to Dr. Sam Wimpenny, recently appointed as a lecturer at the University of Bristol. As a leading early career researcher in fault mechanics and tectonics, Dr. Sam Wimpenny is recognized expert on the tectonics of the Andes after completing a number of fellowships following his obtaining a PhD in 2019 and is now a newly appointed lecturer at the University of Bristol. Sam's research explores the behavior and dynamics of the Earth's lithosphere with significant contributions to our understanding of earthquake cycles, associated tectonic activity. His high-impact publications on cutting-edge research have been widely well received, including recent work to quantify the frictional properties of natural fault zones and how fault properties change through time. With supportive funding from Research England, Sam has also led recent efforts to develop resources to support equitable and inclusive fieldwork. His commitment to equality and diversity has seen him launch a series of summer research internships aimed at improving the entry of PhD candidates into natural hazard disciplines from demographics who've historically had less access. He currently serves as the chair of the Equality, Diversity and Inclusion Committee for the Centre of Observation and Modelling of Earthquakes in Tectonics. With your exceptional contribution to geotectonics and your commitment to equality and diversity to make geoscience more equitable and accessible to all, Sam Wimpenny, please accept with our congratulations the William Smith Fund of the Geological Society of London. Okay. We move now on to the Murchison Fund. You know, it's not often you get a chance to mention all the greats in successive sentences. So the Murchison Fund is awarded to Dr. Francesca Wilcox at the University of Leicester. Driven by her thirst for knowledge, Francesca Wilcox's research into planetary science has been recognized in many numerous high-impact publications alongside international collaborators. Indeed, she had a role in the non-destructive analysis of the Winchcombe meteorite from 2021, the first to be found on UK soil in some 30 years. In addition to classifying meteorites, this is, you know, Francesca, I did my long essay as a final year student on meteorites. Looking back, it was completely wrong. So I'm ever so glad that greater folk than me are sorting it out. Francesca is making further developing these analytical techniques now during her PhD in physics astronomy at the University of Leicester. Specifically, her current research focuses on the geology of the Gale crater within the Curiosity rover team and preparation for future sample return missions from Mars. Throughout Francesca's BSc and Research Masters at the University of Plymouth, she strived to signal the importance of public outreach, spearheading Plymouth Electron Microscopy Centre's social media presence with a series of highly regarded live events, as well as hosting workshops for a Girls into Geoscience initiative and presenting in community meetings for both nationally and internationally. Now, with her enthusiasm as geoscience communicator, continues as she brings Martian geology and planetary science to a wider audience. Can you roll up a tiny wee bit, Kevin? There's the bits missing off them. Thank you very much indeed. Francesca, you have made an impressive contribution to the planetary science through research earlier in your career alongside your significant outreach work, and we're delighted to award you with the Murchison Fund of the Geological Society of London. Actually, something else comes to mind, handing over the award to Francesca. My youngest daughter is 25 years old. She's working as an engineer now, but she came home from school one day as a sixth former and said, "Oh, they keep going on about women in science. We've done all that." So I think she could have benefited from a few days with you, Francesca. Thank you again. Okay. Come on, Mr. Lyle. Still got Francesca there. Try again. I seem to have lost control, Kevin. Could you put? Did I ever have it? Thank you. The Lyle Fund is awarded to Dr. Fred Boyer from the University of Leeds. Dr. Fred Boyer's expertise explores one of the fundamental questions of geoscience: the inexorable link between environmental change and the evolution of life. Numerous high-impact publications stemming from his research have helped to shape the scientific community's understanding of this coupling. As an early career field and lab-based sedimentologist, stratigrapher and geochemist, Fred's postdoctoral work integrates stratigraphic, paleontological and geochemical data to understand Proterozoic and Phanerozoic Earth systems change. Fueled by his own curiosity, Fred has humbly embarked upon integrating the notoriously difficult stratigraphic record of the late Precambrian, and in doing so has made several major discoveries alongside pioneering a new method for constructing hierarchical age frameworks that calibrate geochemical and paleontological information in both space and time. Highly regarded for his extensive knowledge, Fred is currently co-supervising multiple PhD candidates and has been invited to speak at numerous specialist conferences and seminar series, culminating in his appointment as a voting member of both the Cryogenian and Edicarian subcommissions of the International Commission on Stratigraphy in 2024. Kevin, could you roll down a little bit, please? Thank you. Furthermore, his outreach activities span co-convening sessions at international conferences since 2018, as well as hosting regular outreach and community building efforts in Africa. Fred Boyer, you are the most worthy recipient from your noteworthy research in high-impact publications to our excellent outreach community building efforts. Please accept the Lyle Fund with our warmest congratulations. Good. We now move on to the Wollaston Fund, is awarded this year to Dr. Amy Maguire of the University of Leeds. Dr. Amy Maguire's research aims to correlate records of past climate change, providing critical insights into the climatic teleconnections driving environmental responses across quaternary climate oscillations. Following a BSc and MSc in geography at the University of Manchester, her PhD at the University of Cambridge focused on the propagation of abrupt climate change within the Mediterranean region and the differential rates at which ecosystems respond to past climate change. She's particularly interested in the climate and environmental dynamics under warmer than present day interglacial periods and how this may inform future climate variability. Most recently, as a research fellow at the University of Leeds, Amy has been tasked with updating the chronostratigraphy of the southern North Sea alongside the interdisciplinary global collaborators. Her detailed palynological analysis shows the shallow subsurface of the Southern Bight just off the Dutch coast may be almost 1 million years older than existing dating frameworks suggest. Amy's important finding has implications beyond academia, with industry benefiting from a benchmark review useful for geohazard assessment and offshore wind development. And is there more to roll down to? Please, Kevin. I think we're at the, you seem to be missing the critical bit there, Amy. It's with great pleasure, Amy, that we award you the Wollaston Fund. Please join me to accept it. Oh gosh, it's here, Amy. You've got two pages. How long was your PhD, by the way? How many pages? No, never mind. Let me finish off. Again, a faux pas. I'm glad the recording is only for the note-taking purposes. So beyond her research, Amy passionately advocates for diversity within the field, especially through mentoring younger geoscientists and leading Sutton Trust summer schools. An exemplary teacher, she has inspired numerous students to continue their studies and pursue careers within the field. And so the bit I thought was missing, Dr. Amy Maguire, your research is having an impact beyond academia and is benefiting industry, whilst your passion for inspiring other students into continuing studies into geoscience. We're delighted to award you the Wollaston Fund for 2023. You know, there is a clue in the two pictures of Amy, just as we did earlier on. I'm clearly too eager here. My apologies. We now move on to the Early Career Network and the Early Career Geologist Award for 2025. So we'll do that before moving on to the some other Early Career Award winners. Firstly, the Society's Early Career Geologist Award, designed to showcase the talent and skills of individuals at the early stages of their respective geoscience careers. The event has a preliminary heats run by the Society's regional groups, with the winners then invited to participate in the national final, which took place here in Burlington House on May the 28th. I was here. It was marvellous. A real excellent evening. And I was honoured to be part of the judging panel for the finals. The 2025 recipient of the Early Career Geologist Award is Elias Runjan of UCL. Elias, are you here? He's not here. It was a super talk. We really like to get a piece in geoscientists or even a conversation with him. But all the representatives from across the UK and from Hong Kong were wonderful. I think the gentleman from Hong Kong was up at 2 in the morning or something like that to give his presentation. Okay, I will now move on to the moment to celebrate the Society's Journal's most recent early career winners, including the Journal of the Geological Society JGS Early Career Award recipient, Iskander Ibrahimov. I hope I've made a reasonable pronunciation of that. The quarterly journal Engineering, Geology and Hydrology's William Dearman Early Career Award recipient to Bella Bennett, and Petroleum Geoscience Early Career Award recipient to Andre Bandreau, receiving EAGE's Norman Falcon Award for the best paper in the Petroleum Geoscience in the calendar year preceding the award. It's wonderful to see so many trailblazing early career scientists, and I invite you to join me in one final time congratulating them and wishing them continued success. Let us move on to the Service Awards. And we start with the R.H. Worth Award. So the next 4 recipients will be receiving awards for their recognition of the significance in service to geology and or outreach work. The first is the R.H. Worth Award, established in 1955. It's conferred in recognition of achievements in outreach, public engagement, and or education carried out by an individual or institution. It gives me great delight to present the 2025 R.H. Worth Award to Clive Oppenheimer at Cambridge University and the Etna Observatory, that's INGV. Clive Oppenheimer is a world-class world-leading volcanologist who has made his significant contributions to the chemical surveillance of volcanoes and volcanic emissions over the last 30 years. His work has been highly influential in the areas from satellite and remote sensing of volcanic heat and gas to ground-based measurements of volcanic gas emissions and their impacts on the atmosphere. Clive has made notable additions to interdisciplinary studies of past volcanic eruptions and their wider impacts, and to innovations in measurement and analysis, including a patented radiation monitoring device. With over 300 peer-reviewed publications, he was previously awarded the Royal Geographical Society for his prominent input to our understanding of geographical science. Clive's volcanological expertise has taken him far beyond academia, supporting over 30 films and documentaries, as well as radio broadcasts and multiple books. He has devoted creative time and energy to share with the wider public his fascination with volcanoes and volcanic phenomena from Antarctica to North Korea. And Kevin's really on the ball because he'd already recognized that I may not have spotted the second page and changed the slides for me. There are puppets behind, controlling my strings. Let me continue. These outstanding contributions to geoscience, outreach and education have been widely acclaimed and nominated for many awards, having helped highlight the interconnectivity of geology, climatology, ecology, archaeology and anthropology, Maureen Lipman would be proud, to global audiences. Through all of this, Clive has inspired and supported numerous young geoscientists through their early career stages and into their main careers, and created a standout, lasting legacy to encourage future generations of volcanologists. In recognition of your significant contributions to chemical surveillance of volcanoes and volcanic emissions over the past 30 years, and to your dedication to public outreach and engagement, it gives me great pleasure to present you with the R.H. Worth Award. Wow, congratulations. Oh, thanks, Kevin. We now move on to the come to the Koch Award, or Koch medals, awarded to geoscientists for their contribution to science, as well as significant service to geoscience. For example, through administration, organization, or promotion of activities resulting in benefits to the community. The first of these Koch medals is presented to Dr. Joel Gill, founder of the Charity for Geology and Global Developments, GFGD, and a lecturer at Cardiff University. Dr. Gill is a leading advocate for geoscience as a driver of international development and sustainability. In 2011, after 2 placements in Tanzania evaluating water programs, he founded the charity Geology for Global Development. With a focus on the Global South, GFGD aims to improve the understanding of access to and capacity for applying geoscience in support of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. Joel has devoted significant time to leading the charity over 14 years. He has delivered presentations and convened conferences benefiting hundreds, if not thousands, of students. He is engaged at the Society Policy Interface, particularly at UN levels. Under his leadership, GFGD secured observer status within the UN Framework Convention on Climate Change and a consultative status with the UN's Economic and Social Council. Through this work, Joel has helped amplify the voice of geoscience and policy in arenas where it was previously underrepresented. His publications on geoscience have reached tens of thousands of readers, depending upon understanding the discipline's role in sustainable development, both within and beyond the geoscience community. Joel's dedication to the geoscience community is further evidenced by his long-standing service to the Geological Society of London. He was an active member of External Relations Committee for nearly a decade, including 3 years as chair of Secretary for Foreign and External Affairs whilst on council. Since 2001, he's been a lecturer at Cardiff University, modelling his commitments to impactful public good science. Before this, he spent 6 years with the BGS, the British Geological Survey, working on international development projects. His interdisciplinary research bridges the natural and social sciences, focusing on natural hazards and disaster risk reduction. Recognised internationally for his work on multi-hazard risk, Joel has advised a range of national and international bodies, including the UK Cabinet Office and the International Science Council. Joel Gill, for your formidable work advocating for geoscience as a driver of international development and sustainability, your service to the community and your dedication to impactful for public good science, I'm thrilled to present you with this award. Thank you very much.
I didn't realize I would be the first person to speak here. So yeah, set the bar. Thank you for this honor. Thank you to those who nominated me, and congratulations to all those who are recognized today, including my fellow Coke Medal winner, whose commitment to international development is really inspiring. It means a great deal to receive this from the Society, and I'm grateful to staff and council members who I've had the pleasure to work with, who supported me, all those who contribute to the Society's excellent external relations work. It's always a pleasure to work with you. The Society has been a supporter of GFGD almost since the beginning. Edmund Nicholas and Nick Billam embraced our vision and offered much needed advice, so thank you. Nick has served as Chair of Trustees for nearly a decade. His guidance and dedication and friendship have been invaluable. I've been lucky to work with lots of inspiring people who've supported me along the way. Bruce Malamud, my PhD supervisor, who invested so much in me. Melanie Duncan at BGS and Faith Taylor at KCL, who model the very best of research culture. All those who volunteered with GFGD over the last 15 years, including Vicky O'Connor as co-CEO, and Emily White, who was instrumental in shaping our current strategy. Martin Smith at BGS for enabling my 6 years there to be rich in learning, and everyone at Cardiff, students and staff who've given me such a warm welcome as I made that transition into the academic space. And thank you to all those around the world, from Kagera in Tanzania to the villages around Fuego Volcano in Guatemala, who opened their doors and spoke honestly about their lived experiences and day after day demonstrate their commitment to delivering a better world. And to my family, my parents nurtured a passion for learning. Those walks at Malham Cove, that trip to the Natural History Museum had a big impact. My grandma, Joyce, great aunt and uncle, and Alan and Pam all supported me. My children, I've made a list, otherwise I'm going to forget people. Children, Chloe and Leo, who keep me smiling and supplied with lots of pictures of volcanoes. And above all, my wife, Stephanie. Your suggestion back in 2009 to go to Tanzania changed everything. And there's been lots more trips, lots more evenings, weekends, hours of committee meetings at the Society and other things that have, that have taken time away from other things. You've made big sacrifices to enable my journey to continue, so thank you. And in closing, I just want to briefly recognise the significant work that lies ahead. Average annual disaster mortality rates are still almost 3 times higher in least developed countries, and there are still around 703 million people that lack even a basic access to a water service. Geology is part of the solution, but business as usual won't be sufficient to address these challenges. So in receiving this award, I just want to recommit myself to being part of that solution, pressing forwards and continuing to play my small part in contributing to a better, more sustainable, resilient world. Thank you.
Lovely, thank you, Joel. The second of the Cope Medals is awarded to Catherine Goodenough of the British Geological Survey, and Editor-in-Chief of the Society's open access journal, Earth Science Systems and Society. Dr. Catherine Goodenough's focus on critical minerals is now more important than ever, with her keen interest in their sustainable development, helping decarbonisation initiatives into the future. Her research is vitally important to the understanding of critical minerals needed for the modern green technologies such as electric vehicles and renewable energy. Aligned to this is her passion for changing, I nearly said charging because of the electric vehicles, so changing perceptives around the mining to obtain these resources. And in the importance of a low carbon world, this has culminated in an expansive record of high impact publications and TV and podcast appearances. Her prominence was recognised through being nominated as one of the 100 Global Inspirational Women in Mining in 2020. This not only celebrates her outstanding contribution to the field, but also highlights Catherine as a trailblazing role for the future generations of female geoscientists. After almost 25 years at the British Geological Survey, Catherine is Head of Regional Geoscience International, with a focus on the development of the international partnerships across the BGS. Can you roll down a wee bit, please, Kevin? I've lost my place now. BGS. BGS remit, particularly supporting the delivery of UK government priorities overseas. To this end, she's worked tirelessly in numerous countries in Africa and more widely, leading capacity building projects to support geoscientists tackling global challenges such as managing natural resources, living with geological hazards, and planning infrastructure development. Catherine is also Editor-in-Chief of the Geological Society's first fully open access journal, Earth Science Systems and Society, since its launch in 2021. She embodies the scope of the journal, cross-disciplinary geoscience with social relevance, and has been instrumental in building a diverse and inclusive community around it. The Society, its staff and council would like to take this opportunity to thank her for tremendous work and support of the Society's staff team. Catherine, for your noteworthy contributions to research into critical minerals and increasing the public's understanding of those, for your support of geologists tackling global challenges, and for your generous service to the community, it gives me great pleasure to present you with the Cope Medal.
Thank you very much, John. And I don't have a written speech, so I'm going to try and only do 2 minutes. So thank you so much to the Society for this award. It's hugely appreciated. And particularly thank you to the people who nominated me. I know how much work goes into that. And I'm really pleased to share the Cope Medal this year with Joel. Our work is so aligned and we've been working together for several years. So I went off to Edinburgh just over 30 years ago to go and do a PhD working on rocks in Greenland and looking at these things called rare earth elements that nobody really cared about very much at the time. So it's astonishing now to be in a situation where the sort of work that I do is all over the news and being talked about by the US president and generally a hot topic. Yes, we won't go any further there. But I feel that I've been really lucky. I had some amazing PhD supervisors known to many of you, Brian Upton, Ian Parsons and Adrian Finch. And that work looking at rare earth elements in Greenland really set me up for everything that I do now. And then I've been at the BGS for something like 25 years after a bit of time at the Scottish Government. And I'm not even going to attempt to thank everybody I've worked with in that time at the BGS and more widely, some of you here in this room. There's a fantastic team of people at the BGS that I work with on critical minerals and across the whole international piece. And really, I'd just like to thank all of them and all the many people I've worked with. There's just a couple of people I'd like to highlight. Francis Wall, who many of you will know, who I do know was one of my nominators and who's really supported me through so much of this critical mineral work and been there as a great partner. And Andrew Bloodworth, who was head of minerals when the whole critical minerals thing kicked off and who I work with so closely. And many of you know Andrew very well. And then finally, I'd like to thank my long-suffering other half, Simon Price, and many of you know Simon and may not have realised that, in fact, probably one half of you know Simon, the other half of you know me, and you may not have realised that we came as a twosome, but you can imagine how our holidays are when we're talking about rocks. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you. Thank you.
We move now to the Distinguished Service Award. The next is the Distinguished Service Award, which recognises the contribution of an individual by virtue of their profession, administrative, organisational or promotional activities. And it gives me great pleasure to present this year's award to Adam Law of Sproule ERCE. Dr. Adam Law has over 30 years' experience in the energy sector, which began as a graduate trainee with British Gas in 1994. After almost a decade as a geophysicist for energy companies, Adam branched out into the world of consultancy and was a founder director of ERC Equipoise Limited, which became Europe's largest employee-owned energy consultancy before it merged with Canadian Sproule Group to become Sproule ERCE earlier this year. Adam has been fortunate enough to have played a pivotal role in the evaluation of some of the largest hydrocarbon discoveries in the world in recent years. His service to the geoscience community is extensive. He's one of the founding members of the Society of Petroleum Evaluation Engineers, European chapter, which is a primary regulatory body for oil and gas reserves accreditation. He is currently past president of the European region of the American Association of Petroleum Geologists and was previously a member of the PSGB. Must be council. Can you roll down a wee bit, please, Kevin? You need to a bit more further down, please. Thank you. Adam has supported the Geological Society for over 20 years, including service on the Geological Society's Council as Treasurer, a key role with a substantial remit, and still today continues to provide his knowledge and expertise as a member of the Finance and Planning Committee, as well as being a keen supporter of the Society's work. Next slide, please, Kevin. Sometimes it doesn't work. Beyond industry, Adam has been involved in teaching petroleum geology at numerous universities, including Durham and Royal Holloway, where he was an honorary reader. This has extended to inspiring many students to become interns at ERCE through a graduate development scheme accredited by the Society and continue their careers in the industry. Adam Law, in honour of your excellent and long-standing contributions and support to the Society and geoscience community, please accept this Distinguished Service Award for the Geological Society of London. Yes, good.
Thank you. I need to buy another suit. So I'll be mercifully brief. Concretions and nodules. That's why I'm here. So Trevor Greensmith, sedimentology professor at UCL, would always set us the most difficult of essays, and this was the most challenging of all. So 30 or so years ago, I found myself in the lower library with a friend who was also a student member of this august body in a fit of abject panic. And guardian angel, as she always was, Wendy, the librarian, descended, sorted us out, found us the right journals, found us the right references, and the essay, thankfully, was done. And at that point, I thought, I better give something back to this society. And here I am, 30 years later. So it has been an absolute pleasure, and as I say on LinkedIn, an honour to have been involved with the service of the society for so long. And what's been the most exciting thing is to have played a small part within a group of professionals, staff, and volunteers to ensure that the society's finances were always on an even keel, and very recently for it to do this, to own this and secure its future. And that's been an absolute brilliant thing for us to achieve. So, Mr. President, thank you very much for the award. And I look forward to being of service to the society as long as I can be useful. Thank you.
Adam, how long have we known one another? 30 years or so. I didn't know he'd written an essay on concretions and nodules. You might ask, why should I? Well, that's what I did my PhD on, Adam. So there we go. I suspect you didn't find any references to my work there. Okay. We move on to the mid-career awards now. The Bigsby Medal was founded by Jeremiah Bigsby to be awarded as an acknowledgement of eminent services in any department of geology. I'm pleased to award the 2025 Bigsby Medal to Professor Catherine Hendry of the British Antarctic Survey. Professor Catherine Hendry is an outstanding and energetic chemical oceanographer, marine biochemist. She investigates the impacts of changes in the marine nutrient cycling and biochemical ocean climate feedback through leading interdisciplinary projects in the polar regions. Significantly, she's also an interest in reducing the carbon footprint of oceanographic research. Since completing her PhD, Catherine has an exceptional career over the past 17 years, including a Royal Society Research Fellowship at the University of Bristol, a postdoctoral scholarship at Woods Hole Oceanographic Institute, a lecturer position at Cardiff University, and is now a senior ocean climate scientist at the British Antarctic Survey. There's a little bit of, yeah, thank you. Tiny bit missing at the bottom. Alongside her research, Catherine has promoted engagement with oceanographic sciences through an exhaustive catalogue of publications and seminars, chairing conferences, advising national and international bodies, and being an editor for multiple journals, as well as appearance on science festivals and on TV and radio. Generous with her time, Catherine is a champion for equality and diversity in earth sciences. She sits on the Challenger Society for Marine Science Council as chair of the Equity, Diversity, Inclusivity and Accessibility Working Group, and is a member of the Diversity in UK Polar Science Initiative Committee. She also keenly participates in mentoring networks for women in science, particularly junior researchers, to encourage their confidence in developing careers in the field. An exemplary chemical oceanographer, you strive for best practice in your own work and are an inspiration to others through your outreach work and your generous mentoring and support for others in developing careers in the field. Kate, it's a delight to present you with this Bigsby Medal.
Well, thank you very much. It's a great honour to be here. So thank you to the President, to the Council of the Society for this award. It's, I'm over the moon to receive it. So thank you. I was actually, it was just before Christmas when I got the news about this award. And so it was a lovely Christmas present. But also what made it really special is that I was actually sitting in my office in the Bonner Laboratory at the Rothera Research Station in Antarctica when I got the news. So this is when this field trip, when this photograph was taken. So that made the news even more special, that I was in one of my favorite places to receive it. Now, of course, none of this is done in isolation, so I've got a lot of thanks. I'll try to keep it short. So I've had so much luck in my career to have wonderful mentors and role models. I won't list them all, but the important ones, my wonderful PhD supervisor at Oxford University, Ros Rickaby, who was always there for me. She's been fantastic. Laura Robinson, who is my postdoc advisor at Woods Hole, and then a beloved, cherished colleague of mine at the University of Bristol, and Mike Meredith, who at the British Antarctic Survey, who I met at the beginning of my PhD, and he still seems happy that I'm kicking around 20 years later. So thank you to him. As I grew my group over the last 15 years or so, I've just been honoured to work with wonderful early career researchers. Their hard work really put me to shame, and honestly, I wouldn't be here without them. So I won't list them all, but many thanks to them. And lastly, my wonderful husband, who is here in the audience, who is so understanding when I do silly things like not only spend Christmas in Antarctica, but I also miss New Year's, my birthday, his birthday, and our 14th anniversary. So thank you for putting up with that. I'll leave it there. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Kate. Our other mid-career award is the Aberconway Medal, awarded biennially to recognise distinction in the practice of applied or economic geoscience with special reference to work in industry. I'm delighted to award the 2025 Aberconway Medal to Dr. Gavin Foster of the University of Southampton. Professor Gavin Foster is a gifted geologist who combines painstaking laboratory work and novel methodological developments with a unique ability to see the big picture of his science. He has helped make important advances in long-standing geological conundrums, often with critical relevance to society. Primarily an isotope geochemist, his major achievement over the last 2 decades has been to develop the boron isotope proxy for ocean acidity and atmospheric carbon dioxide. This has allowed researchers to move beyond the ice core record and provide a window into the relationship between carbon dioxide and temperature on timescales of millions of years for the quantification of climate sensitivity. His world-leading expertise in this area has been recognized by the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, and in 2021, he was a contributing author to the 6th Assessment Report. One of the key statements in the summary for policymakers that carbon dioxide levels are higher today than at any time during the last 2 million years was based upon his work. This finding raises the profile of geology and climate science and illustrates the importance of studying our past climates to put the anthropogenic climate change into its correct context. Gavin has also established an international working group, the Paleocene Paleo-Ocean CO2 project, bringing together geologists, geochemists, paleoceanographers with the aim to improve the multi-proxy carbon dioxide reconstructions from the marine archives, furthering exploration of the impact of anthropogenic climate and environmental change on Earth systems. Your research findings have been key in raising the profile of geology and climate science, and your collaborative approach is helping further the exploration of the impact of anthropogenic climate and environmental change on Earth systems. It is with great pleasure that we present you with the Aberconway Medal, its recognition of this vital work.
Wasn't needing these glasses when that photo was taken, that's for sure. So yeah, thank you very much for that kind citation, and thanks very much to my collaborators over the years for enabling me to achieve some of the things that were just talked about. And thanks for the Society for this award. It really does mean a lot. So first off, it's really nice to be considered mid-career still. That's always feels a bit like a win these days. Secondly, I'd really like to thank the Society for recognising my research on past climate as applied geology and applied geoscience. I think that really means a lot. I think we all know, or are all aware of the historic role that climate change, that geology has had in the current climate crisis, and I think it's has a really important role to play in our sustainable future. And I'm very thankful that my research has been recognised as playing some small part in that. So thanks again. It's a real honour. Thank you very much.
We move now to the Career Achievement Awards. The first of those is the Dewey Medal, a Lifetime Achievement Award made possible by a generous endowment from Professor John Dewey. It's given to the geologist who has championed the use of classical geological mapping or field observations and who has a strong record of training, leading and encouraging others to practice and pursue advances in geology by these means. This year, the Dewey Medal is awarded to Dr. Richard Brown of Durham University. Described as one of the leading field geologists of his generation, Dr. Richard Brown is globally renowned for his exceptional ability to extract meaning from complex volcanic landscapes, leading to significant impacts on the field of physical volcanology over 25 years, spanning large-scale structures for the forensic microanalysis of ash aggregates. Richard's publications not only transform our understanding of volcanology, but have also helped him inform the future of hazard assessments, particularly across the Canary Islands in Italy. He's an outstanding researcher capable of inspiring young minds with no prior knowledge of fieldwork through visits to school and leading the international trips, as well as convincing experienced volcanologists to interpret evidence in a new way. In fact, his field studies have helped lead to a complete reframing of the accepted model for the kimberlite eruptions. Beyond this, Richard has also helped provide services to the geological community through being the secretary of the Volcanic Magmatic Studies Group and associate editor of the peer-reviewed journal Bulletin of Volcanology. Additionally, he has led Durham University's Volcanic Margins Research Consortium, which focused on knowledge exchange of research and training between universities and geology-related industries. Now, Richard continues his contagious passion for volcanology as an associate professor at Durham University. And I've seen Richard perform on many occasions. And one of his biggest attributes, if you will, is his ability to connect with those mums and dads who come along on the post-offer days. So turning would-be students at the university into students at the university. For your publications, which have transformed our understanding of volcanology and informed future hazard assessments, to your inspirational teaching and exemplary work in the field. Rich Brown, we are delighted to present you with the Dewey Medal of the Geological Society.
Okay, I have some notes on my phone. Kevin, could you unlock my phone, please? Okay, I'll fumble with the keys. Thank you. It's an honour and a surprise to be notified of this award, and I extend my deep thanks to my nominators and to the President, the Council, the Society, and to Professor John Dewey, a scientist whose prowess and success in the field was really extensive, unrivaled, and really influential. We're all reflections of those around us, and I've been fortunate over my career to work with some of the very best mentors and teachers, and I'd just like to highlight a few, really. I was introduced to geology by my A-level teacher, Rob Setchell, at Richard Hewish College in Somerset. And this first experience of learning in the field was really transformational for me. and set me off on this path. And through my work, as John mentioned, as admissions director at Durham, I see how important A-level teachers are in turning school children on to geology. It's a really important role that they excel at. I went on to be trained at Aberystwyth, where we had a very good team of people who put fieldwork at the heart of the teaching. So Dennis Bates, Alex Maltman, Bill Perkins, Max Dobson and others really cemented my love of fieldwork. But I cut my teeth in the field with Mike Branney and Peter Kokelar at Leicester and Liverpool, respectively, two superhuman geologists who effortlessly were able to extract meaning and insight from rocks in the field, and I owe much to their brilliance. I was then fortunate to continue working with the best. I moved to Italy to work with Giovanni Orsi and Sandro De Vita at the Vesuvius Observatory. I spent a lot of time at Bristol with Steve Sparks, a simply amazing volcanologist, and then Steve Self at the Open University. And since arriving at Durham, I've been continually amazed and surprised by the passion of my colleagues and friends and the students and postgraduates and postdocs. And that really reminds me that fieldwork is really at its best when it's a shared kind of collaborative effort. Fieldwork by necessity requires time away, and I'm indebted to my wife, Charlotte Vi Brown, herself a formidable geologist and mapper, and my children, Sebastian and Ariana, who are great collectors of rocks and pebbles. House is full of them, for suffering my absence over the years. And if I may, I'd like to end on an advocacy, really, for the broad importance of fieldwork. In times now when we turn on the news and we see actors overseas cancelling and disrupting and corrupting science, much of it to the detriment of the planet, I think it falls on us as Earth scientists to really inform and enthuse and engage and excite people about the wonder of the planet. And it's our great power as Earth scientists to be able to take people outside and guide them to the wonder and the beauty and the majesty of the planet. And I think that's a really important thing for us to do. So thank you, Mr. President, thank you, Society, and thank you.
And now we come to our four senior medals: the Lyell Medal, the Murchison Medal, the William Smith Medal, and of course the Wollaston Medal. The Lyell Medal is named in honour of one of the 19th century's most influential geologists. It's normally given for contributions to soft rock studies, and in 2025 it's awarded to Professor Hugh Jenkins of the University of Oxford. Professor Hugh Jenkins has made seminal contributions to sedimentary geology, chemostratigraphy and paleogeography during an illustrious career spanning more than 60 years. His expertise explores a wide range of disciplines, including sedimentology and stratigraphy, geochemistry and diagenesis, chemical oceanography, paleoclimatology, tectonics, and basin evolution. Hugh's pioneering research centres around understanding major global events in the Earth's history by examining their sedimentary and geochemical records with a focus on the Jurassic and Cretaceous, marine and lacustrine sediments. In 1976, Hugh and Seymour Schlanger proposed that globally widespread contemporaneous deposits of rich in organic carbon were the evidence of what they termed ocean anoxic events, a concept that was rapidly gain ground and set the agenda for much of the Mesozoic paleogeography research in the following decades. The insight placed Hugh on the forefront of developments in Mesozoic paleoceanography. The early Jurassic ocean anoxic event now carries his name, the Jenkins event. His subsequent models have made significant contributions to industry, particularly as regards the timing of source rock genesis. Throughout his research, Hugh has been the first or amongst the first to recognise the significance and potential of new geochemical proxies to solve sedimentological, paleoceanographic and paleoclimatic problems in deep time. Over the years, Hugh has made his role as a UK representative on numerous ocean drilling programme panels to support investigations into the oceanic sedimentary archives from the Mesozoic greenhouse world. Beyond research, he was the first European editor of the Geological Society of America's Geological Journal, which became one of the most highly cited geoscience periodicals during his tenure in the early 2000s. He spent most of the almost 5 decades at the University of Oxford, with spells teaching internationally in Italy, mentoring and inspiring countless students to take up geoscience mantle and pursue careers in the field. Whilst Hugh has previously received the Wollaston Fund and Coke medals from the Geological Society of London, the Lyell Medal now honours an outstanding lifetime of contributions to soft rock science. Hugh Jenkins, for your seminal contributions to sedimentary geology, chemostratigraphy, paleoceanography, as well as being an inspiration to countless students, some here today, it's a great pleasure to present you with the Lyell Medal with our warmest congratulations.
Thank you, Mr. President, for your kind words. I'm particularly grateful to the Society, the Awards Committee, and those who nominated me for finding me deserving of this award. I am surprised, flattered, and honoured to join the prestigious company that has gone before me. It's the summer of 1966, and I'm looking at the bulletin board in the Geology Department of Southampton University, where is pinned a list of potential PhD topics at Leicester, including one entitled Sedimentology of Limestones in Western Sicily. I applied, was interviewed by Peter Sylvester Bradley, and a few days after graduation, found myself on a train bound for Palermo, clutching a freshly purchased copy of Teach Yourself Italian. Once there, occupying a well-appointed flat in the centre of the city, I encountered Hugh Torrens, who was studying the local ammonites of the region and had with him a considerable volume of pertinent geological literature, variously written in French, German, and Italian. Deciphering these papers continued on my return to Leicester as the pile of thin sections on my desk continued to mount. John Hudson, Lyell medalist, 1985, arrived at Leicester some way through my PhD work and was unerringly stimulating as a supervisor. In a joint field trip to sample Tethyan Mesozoic sediments, we made good use of Ron Oxborough's Geological Excursion Guide to the Eastern Alps. Recognition of fossil manganese nodules in the pelagic successions of Western Sicily, given their present-day occurrence on current sweat seamounts, was the key to unlocking the mid to early Jurassic paleogeography of the region, which we would now view in terms of tilted fault blocks on a proto-continental margin undergoing extension. Thence, in 1969 to Basel, Switzerland, where I began my collaboration with Daniel Bernoulli, which has continued over a time span of 50 years. Next to Oxford, where Bruce Selwood was a kindred spirit, his impish sense of humour making him an ideal field companion. 2 years at Oxford were followed by my first teaching job at Cambridge, where my late afternoon's conversations with Alan Smith, Lyell medalist 2008, on the geology of the Helenides were a particular highlight. Between moving from Cambridge to Durham in late 1973, I had the immense good fortune to participate in the deep sea drilling project in the mid-Pacific, and our surprise discovery of an organic-rich black shale in the Lower Cretaceous led to the concept of oceanic anoxic events, as you've heard from the President. And that changed my career path forever. Having moved to Oxford after 3 years at Durham, I began working with like-minded colleagues, among whom I would like to mention particularly Andy Gale, Stephen Heselboe and Graham Whedon. They seem equally happy to sample unbecoming, fine-grained sedimentary rocks in excruciating stratigraphic detail. In closing, I'd particularly like to thank my wife, Evelyn, for continued support throughout the years and for humouring me in my desire to continue research post-retirement. Thank you very much.
The Murchison Medal, named for Sir Roderick Impey Murchison, is traditionally awarded to those who made a significant contribution to geology by means of a substantial body of research and for contributions to hard rock studies. It is presented in 2025 to Professor Jenny Collier of Imperial College London. A central theme throughout marine geophysics, Professor Jenny Collier's career has been the relationship between tectonics and magmatism. She has made commendable contributions to our understanding of volcanic rifted margins using seismic and magnetic methods. Specifically, her research has primarily focused on the South Atlantic and Indian Ocean, highlighting that their geological histories are far more complicated than the simple models often envisage. Her 1990 papers on imaging the melt beneath the mid-ocean ridges has been a bedrock for further research. Once it solidifies, I presume, a bedrock for further research exactly where the volcanic melt resides in both fast and slow spreading ridges. Recent work investigating the link between volatiles in the incoming plate to arc magmatism of the Antilles subduction zone. Through this, Jenny has been at the forefront of applying modern seismic techniques to understanding diverse geological phenomena, with her research characterized by combining state-of-the-art observation data acquired from experiments at sea with numerical modeling. Jenny conducted a first ever multi-beam bathymetric survey of the UK continental shelf, which led to the discovery of the megaflood basalt landscape carved into the floor of the English Channel. This not only captured the public's imagination, but has helped to inform interdisciplinary research into human migrations and early settlement of Britain. Significantly, this has led to the establishment of an offshore protected area by the UK government. Beyond her research in recent years, Jenny has been the editor for multiple journals, president of the British Geophysical Association, and appointed to the Science Committee of the Dover to Calais UNESCO Cross-Channel Trans-Manche Global Geopark. This is an international partnership committed to the long-term conservation and community engagement with the geological assets of the English Channel. After more than 25 years at Imperial College, Jenny's tales of numerous sea expeditions and applying modern techniques to age-old conundrums have influenced students and peers alike. Alongside this, her groundbreaking impact on the study of structure of the oceanic lithosphere and quaternary evolution of the continental shelves is undoubtedly deserving of this award. Jenny Collier, your research has led to profound and impactful discoveries, and you continue to be tireless in your research today, as well as your service to the wider community through your variety of roles. You are the most worthy recipient, and so it is with great pleasure that we present you with the 2025 Murchison Medal.
Wow, so thank you so much. I feel slightly overwhelmed by that. So I'd like to obviously thank President very much, the Society, the Awards Committee, and also, of course, my nominators. I'm very, very humbled by this award. So thinking about, who influenced me in my early career, I had the good fortune, I did my master's project with Martin Bott in Durham. I did my PhD with Bob White in Cambridge, and my first postdoc with Tony Watts in Oxford. And if you're in my subject, marine geophysics, this is basically a hat trick. That's all I can say. And this was not planned. This is just how it happened. And all three of them really influenced, set me on the path in terms of setting high standards. Hard work will pay. And that's really what I've tried to sort of continue throughout my career. Of course, I'd like to, thank all of my colleagues and collaborators, but actually I decided not to single any out because I really wanted to emphasize teamwork. So I'm marine science. I was asked to send a picture of me doing something. So here is me doing something. And I really wanted to sort of stress. So I go to sea, I collect data. It relies on everybody from the captain down to the deckhands. Everyone is actually of equal importance. And I think over the years, I've seen sort of the assessment of my more junior colleagues become more and more metricized and measured and weighed. And I'd really like to, emphasize the importance of teamwork. So, here I am, my job here is to hold the instrument up as someone with more electronic skills than me is fixing something. And really without teamwork, we don't get anywhere. So, it's really that's really my take-home message that I'd like to make. So my award is really in recognition of everyone I've worked with.
Thank you, Jenny. The William Smith Medal, celebrating outstanding achievement in the field of applied geology, is presented in 2025 to Professor David Selby of Durham University. Both the geological community and industry have benefited from, I'm going to say Dave, we're close colleagues, Dave's 30-year career in applied and economic geology. He has earned global recognition for his work on rhenium-osmium geochronology and isotope geochemistry and their novel applications to metallic and hydrocarbon economic geology. These have supported ore deposit studies and commercial mineral exploration strategies through supporting global use of his established radioisotope geochronometer. This has proven vital to our current landscape of addressing critical mineral resource shortages, as well as yielding new insights into petroleum formation and migration. But the benefits of this isotope geochronometer have not been limited solely to the fields of mineralogy and hydrocarbons. With interdisciplinary applications in ocean anoxic studies, ice sheet dynamics, archaeology, atmospheric pollution, and geological timescale calibration. So beyond his personal research that has taken him into the early years, from his early years at the University of Alberta to an established position at Durham University, David has supported the next generation of applied geologists through supervising more than 30 PhD students and early career researchers, chaired conferences on his field of expertise and sat on editorial committees of multiple economic geology journals. Previously awarded the William Smith Fund in 2009, it is wonderful to see the crucial work he is doing culminate in receiving the William Smith Medal today. Professor David Selby, for your work and novel applications that are vital to addressing critical mineral resource shortages, and for sharing your knowledge and inspiring the next generation of applied geologists, I present you with the William Smith Medal of the Geological Society with my warmest congratulations. I'm awfully glad that the photographers captured Dave in a tie. So I'll let you first, or certainly in recent years.
Yeah. Many moons ago, I used to actually wear a tie for teaching, but I've become lazy, I suppose. But yes. Thank you very much, especially to the Geological Society and especially to my mystery nominators. It's a very, very kind gesture. In the short time that I have up here, I would particularly like to thank all of the PhD and early career researchers that I've had the pleasure to work with pretty much for the last 30 odd years. And these have been people from all around the world, and it's been an incredible experience working with young minds. And Some of them are just incredibly bright and have gone on to do exceptional things. At Durham, I wish to acknowledge particularly two people that have supported me and my research group since my arrival, and those are Jeff Knoll and Chris Otley. But lastly, and very, very importantly, I would like to thank Robert Creaser at the University of Alberta. And it's because without his invitation to actually be involved in the initial stages of development of the Reading Mosby methodology, I would not have the opportunity to stand here today. So it's to Rob for his patience, his friendship, and his willingness to always allow me to try something new. Thank you. And thank you for listening.
If we had a drum roll, it would now play. We now come to the Wollaston Medal, the Society's senior medal and our highest accolade. First awarded to William Smith in 1831 and given to geoscientists who've had a significant influence by means of a substantial body of excellent research in either or both pure and applied aspects of our science. This year is presented to Professor Barbara Sherwood-Lawler of the University of Toronto. Professor Barbara Sherwood-Lawler's receipt of the Geological Society of London's most esteemed medal is a credit not only to her exceptional wealth of research into ancient waters and deep subsurface biosphere, but also to their real-world applications. This includes pioneering the development of isotope analysis for a new natural isotope tracer, which has proved vital to identifying hydrocarbon contamination, remediation strategies in the natural environment, improving our knowledge of microbial and chemical contamination of groundwater to aid remediation of unsuitable drinking water. Barbara's research has thus been critical to meeting the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals for clean and sustainable water supplies. Her work has also revealed some of the deepest yet discovered microbial communities and aided understanding of how they survive in the subsurface kilometers beneath the Earth's surface. She has also contributed to assessments of sequestration repositories for nuclear waste disposal and carbon capture and storage initiatives, plus alternative sources of clean energy, namely from hydrogen-rich rocks. But it's not only Earth's benefiting from her expertise, as Barbara's knowledge of groundwater chemistry and habitability are proving valuable insights for mission planning on Mars, Saturn's moon Enceladus, and Jupiter's moon Europa. Throughout her 40-year career thus far, Barbara has made an impact on the geological community through her generous contributions to over 60 bodies, 30 within the last decade alone. Currently, this includes chairing the Royal Society Policy Briefing on Natural Hydrogen as future energy and resources for the green energy transition, and being Vice Chair of the United States National Academy of Engineering Search Committee for International Members. She was previously President of the Geochemical Society, co-founding its best practice guide for operations and supporting equality and diversity measures, which has proved foundational to other professional organizations worldwide. Her work has received numerous past accolades, including the E&I Award for Protection of the Environment in 2012 and Companion of the Order of Canada in 2016, an honour bestowed on only 180 living Canadians, and most recently, the 2025 Nemers Prize in Earth Sciences. Barbara Sherwood-Lawler, for your pioneering work, as well as your generous sharing of your time and expertise through an array of roles, it is a huge honour and a personal pleasure to present such a worthy recipient with the 2025 Wollaston Medal.
Thank you so much. I mean, it's such an honor to be here today with such an array of talent, and congratulations to all of the colleagues. It's just inspirational to see the citations and the work represented. And to John, to the Geological Society, it's impossible to describe how it feels to understand the commitment and the more than 200-year history that the Geological Society has brought to the world. The commitment over the years, time after time, of the use of observations, of facts, of calculations to challenge existing paradigms and revolutionize time after time what we understand about the planet's history, the age of the planet, life and evolution, and the atmosphere. And so the motto of the Geological Society of serving science, profession, and society through the use of fact-based decision-making. I cannot think of anything more relevant in our current chaotic time than this continued principle. So thank you to the Geological Society for that. After the break, I get a chance, a little bit more time, to thank the myriad of people who've contributed to the work that you'll see represented here today. But there's a couple I have to call out, first and foremost, who've just been so foundational to the discoveries that we've made, to the collegiality of what Jenny described so beautifully as the science as a team sport, I think. And that would be Christopher Ballantyne of Oxford, Oliver Waugh at the University of Ottawa for the work that we've done together in noble gas geochemistry, the much lamented loss of Dr. T.C. Onstott from Princeton and the microbiological work that I'll talk about today, and then the collaborations we've had with Verena Hauer and Kai Heinrichs at Bremen, who've also been major contributors. And then I would be remiss without thanking my family, and in particular, Jack, who's come to help represent the family here today. Jack, your passion, your joy, your principle is an inspiration to me every day. Thank you.
The blank one. I need the next one. I mean, an enormous congratulations to all the winners, whether it was early in your career or, as I think it was Joel put it, partway through or so. We thank all those who supported the awards, and so we conclude now the 2025 Geological Awards presentation. The work and achievements of our recipients is inspirational, and we thank them for their incredible contributions and also for taking time out of their very important work to be with us today. I mean, what struck me listening to some people I know well, others that I have met for the first time today, is how many connections there are between the different workers, whether it's listening to Hugh's long career, and it's impinging upon something we might have heard from one of the early career recipients early on. The teamwork mentioned by Jenny and repeated by Barbara. You know, I have a sort of funny feeling that of all the award winners here today, that we might have forged some new connections. And when you forge new connections, your experience and their experience don't always fully overlap, but they touch in ways that create new ideas, create new regions of research. And so not only the recipients of the medals and awards and funds today, but everyone in this room and those who are online, have a think about what you've heard about today and reach out. Perhaps the next award comes from an idea generated out of the meeting today. And so with that, we'll take a short comfort break, and then